all of my colleagues in government, certainly the Board President King, to all those in attendance, thank you so much for your presence here today during this momentous occasion. It's a high honor and a distinct privilege for me to be able to deliver remarks as we celebrate the life and legacy of Miss Daisy Lee Ganson Bates. Daisy Bates represents the best of America. The best of America. In the face of violence and adversity, she never wavered and remained steadfast as a field general for equality, freedom, and justice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once noted that Mrs. Bates was in the thick of the battle from the very beginning, never faltering, never tired. Born in a small town in the great state of Arkansas in 1914, Daisy experienced a turbulent childhood. Shortly after birth, her mother Millie was murdered while fighting off the sexual assault of 3 white men from outside the community. Her father Hezekiah was forced to flee, leaving Daisy to be raised by friends. No one was ever prosecuted for her mother Millie's killing. The trauma of Daisy's childhood, the second-class citizenship she experienced as a black woman in the deep South, and her adoptive father's charge to turn her pain into progress, lit a fire in her to do whatever it took to fight for equal protection under the law. It was in that spirit that she went on to publish the Arkansas State Press alongside her beloved husband, L.C. Daisy used the weekly newspaper to chronicle the brutal racism of the Jim Crow South and amplify an American call for freedom. Through it all, segregationists constantly threatened Daisy and her family. They hurled rocks through her window. They sent her shell casings through the mail. They burned crosses on her property. But she fought on, undeterred. One year, a group of racist men rammed the back of her station wagon and threatened to drag her from her car and into the street. She unlocked her door and politely pulled out her pistol. The men took off. Daisy Bates was not playing games. In 1952, Daisy became the president of the Arkansas chapter of the NAACP. During her tenure, the Supreme Court delivered their landmark ruling in Brown v. Board of Education, holding that school segregation was, of course, unconstitutional. Satisfied with the progress of desegregation in Arkansas, Daisy attempted to register black students for classes in all white schools and documented the lack of compliance by printing the stories of those students in her weekly newspaper. Her efforts, of course, culminated in recruiting and mentoring Minnie Jean, Ernest, Elizabeth, Thelma, Terrence, Melba, Gloria, Jefferson, and Carlotta, better known as the Little Rock Nine. And on September 25th, 1957, facing violent segregationists, those 9 courageous students desegregated Central High School in Little Rock, accompanied by federal troops. Daisy cared for these children as if they were her own, regularly driving them to school and ensuring they were protected from violent mobs. She even became a member of the school's parent-teacher association. continued her activism in 1963, delivering remarks at the March on Washington, and remained involved in making a difference, organizing for John F. Kennedy, and advising President Lyndon Baines Johnson on his signature Great Society program. Daisy's home is a National Historic Landmark, and her advocacy, bravery, and courage will live on through this statue's presence in these hallowed halls of Congress. Her incorporation in Statuary Hall is not just a recognition of her life, but an acknowledgement that our Capitol truly does represent all Americans. Daisy's story is a wonderful Arkansan story and a wonderful American story, and no one will ever be able to erase it. Our nation is forever indebted to Daisy and her efforts to continue our country's long, necessary, and majestic march toward a more perfect union. May God bless the legacy of Mrs. Daisy Lee Gadsden Bates, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.